The building you're in now is a former bank, hence the little check desks. It's been the home of WPPA and T102 for quite a long time. The studio behind you is a production studio. That's where we record our commercials and do a lot of the back office kind of work. The studio with the light on is our control room for T102. We've been broadcasting here for a lot of years. WPPA went on the air first in 1946, on May 9th, 1946. And a man by the name of A.V. Tidmore came to Pottsville from Alabama, and he started with an idea that he wanted to bring radio to Schuylkill County. He was in the Navy, learned about radio at a very, very young age while he was in, I'm not sure exactly where he was stationed, but he learned about radio in its infancy. Oh, see ya. And from there, he went to work for the Columbia Broadcasting System, CBS. When radio, was just getting started, he came to Pottsville. He brought his family here, and WPPA went on the air in 1946. T102, which was known as WPPA FM, went on the air about 2 years later. Today, we employ between full and part-time employees about 20 people, salespeople, which these are some of the sales offices, administrative offices. There's also sales offices upstairs. T102's floors here, their studios are located here. Downstairs is WPPA studios, which we'll get to in a minute. We're all going to go into the production room, and I'm going to show you some of the technology that we use. Everything is digital here, and we'll talk about how a commercial's made, why we make commercials, and then we'll talk about some of the programming and then take it from there. When I started here back 27 years ago, this room was the only room we had up here. There was a big computer system which we called Auto, and it ran T102 when it was a country station. Now we've switched. The control room is the smaller of the studios. In the morning, during the 5 o'clock summer morning show, this is where I sit. Okay, I have a set of headphones on. I can listen to everything that's going on over in the other room. As I mentioned, everything is digital. The computer system we use is from Google. Actually, Google Automation was the company that started this, and what it does, it allows us the freedom to put all of our music, all of our commercials, all of our sound effects, everything in the computer, and we can run, in essence, we could run without any manual intervention, anybody being here for extended periods of time. We also have an option to what's called voice tracking. A lot of the radio stations today, even on your XM and your Sirius satellite networks, they don't have live bodies in the studios. What they do is they lay their voice over the music, and they produce a final product, and it gets broadcast over the satellite the same as it does radio. We make money by selling advertising. That could be commercials from McDonald's, could be commercials from the local car dealer, from the local haunted house that's going on, all those kind of things, the Bloomsburg Fair. They all buy advertising time from us. Why? Well, T102's signal, which the tower and transmitter are located in Shenandoah Heights. All of you probably know where that's at. When you go up to the top of the hill, you can see the red and white stick. That's our antenna. And we have a pretty big footprint, meaning that we can broadcast out to the mid part of the state, up north to the Lackawanna-Luzerne County line, to the south into Berks County, and south of Berks County, and to the east almost to New Jersey. So when a customer wants to sell their product or service, they want to come to us, at least on T102, because they can reach far and wide. Radio is theater of the mind. When you sit down in front of the television to watch a show and you see a commercial, you can pretty well, if you know the commercial, sit there and watch the video without the sound. Radio, it's the other way around. We have to create an image. We have to take an idea and create an image. Now, we do a lot of our own production in-house as well. And this piece of equipment, this display, is called Adobe Audition. Anybody do any kind of sound editing, mixing?
I know what it is.
Okay. Have you used this before?
No, I never used it. I've seen it though.
Okay. This is digital editing. This is someone's voice and music together. We can go in and take pauses out, breaths out. If you mess up, which we do all the time, we use Adobe Audition. We can go in, we can put music to it, we can mix it down. 256 different things we can put in that particular commercial, and mix it down, and it comes into a finished product. We put it on the air. If you can go to Sheets and order a sandwich, you can basically run a radio station. Pretty simple. This is all, the on-air studios have touch screens so that I can, with my knuckle or with my finger, I can start on air, I can start a commercial, I can play a drop, a sound effect on these what are called hot buttons, and we program, T102 anyhow programs all their music in ahead of time through a program called Music Master. It's a music selector program, and what it does is based on certain criteria that RC, the program director, sets up. It'll play certain songs at certain times, it'll play certain songs more frequently than others. Some of the older, more classic rock songs we would not play as frequently. All the commercials are all programmed in here as well, and as I said, we can run, realistically can run automated 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with nobody being here. What's going on right there is the Step Up to the Mic show. It's the area's only live local talk show with call-ins right now. Deb Doherty, who you saw upstairs a little while ago, and Jay-Z with his Shenandoah Valley Blue Devils hat on are interviewing sheriff candidate Dale Rep. There's a thing in radio called equal time. We are, by the law, by the Federal Communications Commission, required to give every candidate equal opportunity to speak about their platforms. Whether I personally agree with somebody or not, whether Deb or Jay-Z do, we're required by law to give everyone equal time. WPPA has no one on the air live here other than a Friday night. No one live here weekdays from noontime until 6 the following morning. Part of what I do is I program the computers to run all of our satellites and everything so that it's seamless. Nobody knows that there's no one here. On a weekend, we do have live people here till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Unless it's college football, we have to have somebody who's pushing buttons and turning knobs. Again, there's part-time opportunities for those kind of jobs. Same thing upstairs in T102. You actually could get a part-time job or apply for a part-time job as an on-air personality. We like to get people who have experience because the station is as big as it is, but we will train. We will train. One other thing I wanted to mention to you about programming. WPPA doesn't go as far as T102 does. It's an AM station. Now, a lot of people say, I don't listen to AM. Well, AM stations, their signals travel real far at night. They don't travel quite as far in the daytime, but we broadcast in what's called a directional signal, meaning that when we turn the power up at 6:30 or 7 o'clock when the daylight comes, we can go to high power. Our signal goes two different directions. At night, when the power goes down, because we have to change our power at night, the signal goes a different way. That power change is required because there's other stations at 1360 AM, and those other stations, if we stayed at high power because the signal travels so far at night, it would automatically take those other stations off the air. We can't do that. WPPA has a different listener base too. Our average age is 35 and up listening to WPPA at any given time. T102 more focused in the 18 to 34-year-old men and women. Never replace local radio for a lot of reasons. You're not going to get the school delays and cancellations on XM or Sirius satellite radio. You're not going to get the Pottsville High or the Shenandoah Valley football scores on a Friday night. You're not going to hear the game talked about or have the players or coaches interviewed like Jay-Z does in his Football Friday every Friday. Bevo, you see him at practice every week. He comes to Coach Sejonen and interviews him every week. You're not going to get that on XM or satellite. Is that saying that XM and satellite are bad? No, it's not. It's just another thing, just like the internet provides us an opportunity to get our message out and to stay local and stay committed to the programming that has kept us in business for 63 years.